He was speaking to somebody who was getting chewed up and spit out in the eyes of the law, man. DaBaby appeared in court today, Sandman. Was determined that he would pretty much be held in court. Now, before we get into everything, I want to play a clip from Lawyers for Workers. Lawyers for Workers. He sent the clip to me. He wanted me to put this out there. It's another interesting aspect of what's going on with DaBaby. And then we'll wrap about that, Sandman, once we play this. Here we go.
New charges for DaBaby in addition to the battery charge down in Miami, where they're saying that he hit a promoter, took some money off the guy because he didn't pay him right. There are charges now in Dallas, Texas. The charge is engaging in organized criminal activity. Now, there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is you got charged with engaging in organized criminal activity. The good news is it's not as bad as it sounds. Check this out. This could be anything. A lot of times in Texas, engaging in organized criminal activity is a charge that the state prosecutors use when you're selling drugs with 3 or more people. So basically, if there's 3, 4 people and they're all together and they're just kind of buying a couple ounces of marijuana, that could be engaging in organized criminal activity. Separately, when gangs get involved in killing people or gang violence or robberies, that can also be engaging in organized criminal activity. That's a very big problem that hopefully is not what they're charging DaBaby with. Stay tuned, we will find out. Anybody in the media has picked up on this yet? Certainly the people around DaBaby and DaBaby should have taken more care to pay attention to the fact that he's on probation. Earlier this year, June 2019, he was found guilty in North Carolina of a gun charge. This stems from a bigger incident in a Walmart where he was accused of murdering someone. It ended up being knocked down to a gun charge, but he was guilty, he was sentenced. He was given a 30-day suspended sentence. And he didn't have to serve the sentence, it was suspended, then it was 1 year of probation, unsupervised probation. The terms of that probation include not being caught in doing other crimes. Right now, he's been accused in 2 different jurisdictions, Miami and Dallas, of a battery, in one case, battery with this criminal group element. All of that means that he's not going to get bail, number one. It's a lot harder to get out on bond when you violate a probation. And then number 2, he's facing additional charges from the original North Carolina gun case that he was on probation for. Obviously, if you violate your probation, you could face additional penalties. I don't think anybody in the media has...
So that's an interesting aspect, and I don't think, like I said, I haven't heard that aspect yet. I forgot about him. I knew about the thing that happened in his home state, but I didn't know that he was still actively on probation. Now, this is bad. This is bad when you hear something like this. Before I let you go and say, man, I'm sure some people that listen to the podcast are going to know this, but some people don't. When you on probation or parole, it's like you walking a real thin line, because any little thing we saw with Meek Mill, you know what I mean? Any little thing can have you not only back in jail without a bond, but getting you more charges. And it's like something like a double whammy. You got that original charge, you're halfway in, halfway out on that one. You ain't supposed to do nothing, then you do something. So it's like everything now is taken into consideration. You're talking about robbery, which is serious. We see the camera angles. Now we don't know if it's him right now. You really can't see. You can't make out who the person is. They're alleging that it is DaBaby. Not looking good for him right now, saying, man, the way things look right now, he looks like he might have to do a little bit of time behind this. Possibly. We'll see.
That looks like the reality, man. I'm just going to give a little bit of what I feel real quick. I know what the reality is, and it looks dangerous, but first off, we don't even know if this brother is lawfully on probation. We don't know the particulars of his cases. We don't know. I mean, we've just seen, you brought up Meek Mill. We've seen the particulars in his case, the amount of corruption that was involved within his cases, the unfairness that was involved, him sitting on probation well over, 10, 12 years. Ridiculous. Now, we don't know DaBaby's situation. It could be something very well like that. As far as the robbery, quote unquote robbery, is concerned, the backstory is, we don't know, like you said, if that was DaBaby, but allegedly he was robbed of thousands of dollars. So there was a robbery first. And then he went and took back his money. Now, he publicly humiliated him, poured orange juice, drug him down the street, took $80 on camera. Whoever the person was who did all this, it did not look good. So I can understand that, plus the probation, can equal some very dangerous situations. And I mean dangerous by him getting living taken away from him and time away from things that are most important taken away from him, because he may be looking at some time. But it's ridiculous, man. And he has to be careful, because at the end of 2019, people were saying he was the baddest rapper out. He was the hottest in the game. when you start getting those kind of whispers and you start going to that claim, you got to just turn it up to another level, cut your circle, do certain things, move certain ways, because now the light is on you like no other. And you look at the snap of a finger, the second he got the stamp of approval, now he's sitting in legal situations and they got camera cam and this and that. And it's like, damn, you hate to see this happen to a kid that's on top of this game right now and it's going to slow it up, whether it be a little bit, a lot, who knows right now. And just move. If you get out and you get out of this situation, be careful, move better. Yeah. So that you don't find yourself in this again, man. Because I don't want to see free DaBaby campaign from 2019 to 2021 like we had to do with Meek a couple years back, man. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. You made some great points there. The main thing, though, is like when you kind of cross that threshold, you gotta kind of stop getting involved in stuff like this. No matter, like, I understand, like, some things happen, and a lot of these guys, it's a foreign language to them because they fresh out of the streets. You know what I mean? And they're not gonna do nothing differently. If anything, shit's gonna intensify now because you got to walk a certain way and move a certain way. I understand that, but jail's a very boring place to be. In jail, you can't get show money. You know what I mean? You can get your streams and shit like that. So it's just like, you got to stay out of jail. Like, you just got to, you know what I mean? I know it's a hard thing to do for some of these dudes and whatnot. And I know sometimes it's a target on some of these dudes back, but people that made it to the billions, you ain't see them, in and out with the law. They kind of, had their little stint and they, they move, forward, throughout, life, trying to keep out of the law. So, I don't believe none of the conspiracy things that people are talking about like that, but I just believe that certain people make certain mistakes and sometimes they catch up to you in life. You know what I mean? Definitely.
And hopefully before they catch up to him too deep, he can realize the little errors of his ways and maybe justified in certain situations, but understanding his situation and knowing when to just eat some things, have other people deal with certain things, know how to delegate what you got going on for the betterment of yourself, the family, the team around you, because you are the one. You can't be locked up somewhere. Now, our man Bootsy, he has something to say about it. Now, he's funny as hell. I don't know what he said. This is live. Yeah. But he has some things to say. Let's hear it.
I know fucking about.
Damn.
He in jail? Man, I know you lying, man.
You robbed the concert promoter.
Let me see it. I'ma fuck that concert promoter up, bitch. I'ma whoop that bitch. Why? Okay, we got you, bitch. DaBaby robbed concert promoter for not paying him all his money. He gave him 20. He gave him 20K instead of 30K. Oh, if the show was for 60, he took 80K, an iPhone 7, a credit card, and threw apple juice on the promoter. Oh, bitch, you pussy ass promoter, bitch. We gonna whoop you, bitch. Yeah, bitch, you into it with all the rappers now. Ain't nobody, bitch. You ain't pay the fucking money, bitch. If it did go down like that. Fuck, how many promoters we done whoop? Bitch trying to sue me now, motherfucking Carolina.
Oh, Boosie crazier than a mug, man.
That's what happens, man. Like, yo, more money, more problems. It's gonna be things that's gonna happen, man. Like, it's almost sad. But, as crazy as this seems, I think that he'll definitely bounce back. I don't think it's going to really slow him down that much, man. I think he got a lot of steam. He got a lot of support in the industry. But he may have to sit down for a while. You know how the law is, you know what I mean? And they down there in it.
And that's unfortunate. Hopefully he doesn't, because it will slow him down, whether, like I said, slow or fast. I don't think it'll just completely take away. I don't think we're having a Kodak Black situation conversation yet. Just be careful, brother. We want to see you win.
Right. And then, I'm thinking about all this, saying, man, and right now we see the video, but then once his lawyer gets a hold of this and that, who the hell is that? That's not him. You know what I mean? So this could possibly be dropped. Right now, it's just a formality. He's on probation. So just because he got arrested, he has to sit with no bond until the judge releases him and says, all right, you can go. But, right now, I think it just looks worse than what it is. You know what I mean? Be honest.
We'll see. I mean, he's had, like I said, he's been in the news for great things. He's been in the news for some bad things. 2020 ain't starting off good. He was on, did you see him on when he had his bail? He said, I'm going to give you $20,000-$50,000.
Yeah.
He was ready to get the fuck up out of there.
Yeah.
He ain't playing no games, man. But hopefully everything works out for the brother.
Yeah. I mean, no doubt. What do you think, Sandman, about